Hey everyone, welcome back. We've got another awesome gray box. So let's take a look and see what's inside. Fire opal. I'm gonna guess there's gonna be some play of color, like an orangey red color. I'm guessing this is a really big specimen. It's probably rough, it's probably not faceted. Okay, ready? Whoa, that is big. So there's only one opal in here, not like 15 or 20. I was told there was a kitten inside this box. My production crew lied to me. Probably pretty delicate because it's opal. I was actually thinking of girasol, which is a type of fire opal that has play of color, which we've talked about before. Play of color is when light goes through the stone and then it refracts all these like different patches of color almost. There's some smooth spots right here. It's really rough right here. It's super heavy. Man, you could take an eye out with this thing. Ha, ha. Of course you could. You could take a head off. Anyways, kind of feels like slimy almost. I wonder if there's like some sort of oil on this. The body color is nice and bright. Kind of looks like Kool-Aid or some candy looking thing. What kind of jewelry would I find fire opal in? Mostly earrings, pendant. How many rings would this be? How big do you like them? I'd say like 10 or 20. If you like it, you should put a ring on it. Maybe an earring, a nose ring. We are gonna have a little extra fun today. Renata's coming. She's gonna tell us all the ways that we can use this fire opal. Two rock nerds for the price of one. One can talk and one can't, so.
Ooh.
What is this?
You're gonna quiz me?
Yeah, tell me what
It's fire opal. Do you wanna know how big it is?
You're probably a geologist. I can tell. How big is this?
9,845 carats.
So if I want one pair of 2 carat total weight earrings, yield, I would say maybe you get like 25 pairs out of here.
Maybe. I was thinking like 2,500 pairs.
I'm thinking like 20, like what if the weight is bad? Or like what if there's cracks or something?
1,000 might be conservative. That's a lot of rough.
All right, Renata, give us the fun facts.
This particular piece is from Mexico. This is enormous for fire opal. Basically, normal opal, it's actually phenomenal opal, it's precious opal, is made up of tiny spheres of silica. We're talking like 150 to 300 nanometers, so pretty small. But if you can imagine, this particular opal has what we call like nanograins or nanoblocks.
Wow.
Yeah, and so when light comes into regular, wonderful, beautiful play of color opal, you get diffraction and interference and all these spectral colors.
So with that, you can kind of think of like if you had a big bucket of ping pong balls, like the light going through the ping pong balls, like that's the refraction and deflection.
Yeah, those ping pong balls are so small that you're not actually spreading out the spectral colors of light. The orange, which gives it its fiery tone and its fiery name, is actually caused by iron 3+. So when you have any kind of mineral, opal included, the different building blocks are called charged ions. And so you can have a cation, which I'm sure is your favorite.
Cat ion.
And that has a positive charge. Right. And so iron 3+ is an example of a cation. You can also have iron 2+. Those differences in electrons make a huge difference in color.
We see this faceted right here. Would this be something that you would ever cut down, or are you gonna leave it like that specimen?
Yeah, I mean, we won't cut this because it's pretty spectacular in its original form. And if you want to look here, we have a piece.
So this is what normally is gonna come out of the ground every
Look at that. Can you even get a single gemstone out of that?
If this is what's coming out of the ground mostly, it's pretty hard to get this. Because this isn't the norm.
No.
Where else can we find this?
Madagascar, Ethiopia. There's a variety of different places where you can find
So this is a really gemstone of the world. It's not a single source gemstone like black opal.
Right. So 9,845 carats.
This probably is about 2.
Right. So you cannot say that that's 25 rings.
Maybe I was a little off on that. It's like you never know, when you're cutting a gemstone, we talk about yield. Like you never know if the whole stone is gonna be gem worthy. So I'm gonna probably say like maybe 26 pairs. Like maybe 26.
I'm sticking with 3,000.
3,000? Tell you what, you go cut that and then come back to me. How many Benjamins am I gonna have to pay for this?
Probably a retail value on something like this would be about $250,000.
Whoa! And I was just touching this thing like normal.
And you were shaking it.
I did not shake the box. I thought about shaking the box.
Really want to shake the box.
How many pounds do you think that is?
It's pretty hefty.
Okay, so let's say that's 25 pounds right there is worth $250,000, $250,000.
Isn't it beautiful? It's
gorgeous.
And guys, it's not at all going to be stored at Natalie's house.
No, no.
So normally this is like in a display case where it's lit. It's not super hot or anything, but we do put a little bit of oil on the fire opal.
Yeah, I could feel it.
Do you know why that is?
To keep it hydrated, just like me. I drink water, that thing drinks oil.
Right, yeah. So if you're not careful with storing your opals, sometimes they can craze, which is like a fancy word for crack.
Can you fix it? Like, can you reverse that?
No, it's not reversible. And actually, we don't recommend that on like Boulder opal or Australian opal. We don't recommend storing it in oil, but if you like lived, for example, in Tucson, someplace where it's really, really dry, you'd want to be pretty careful about how you store it. Yeah.
If you live in the desert and you have fire opal, be careful. Moral of the story.
Opal is actually considered near surface environment. So you're not really digging super deep into the ground, but relatively speaking, like when you're talking about like the depth of the earth, it's not super, super deep. These are considered surficial deposits.
So let's pretend like you're walking around. You're definitely not just gonna see this.
Right, and you might see sort of nodules that aren't like super gemmy, kind of plain orange looking. You'd start busting those rocks open, maybe digging a pit. You'd crack a rock in half and see this mother load.
All right, take a closer look at the color and how you see some like rough patches on it and some smooth areas too. Take a look at that color. That's the best part about this stone. Can you believe that this thing is worth $250,000? I had no idea, but a big thanks to Renata for coming today and joining us. We've got some great gemstones coming up, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and leave us any comments below. Thank you.